Mayhem Mythology!
Right. As a reminder, silence your cell phones, silence your Apple Watch, silence your cats.
I can only control 2 of those things.
Well, same. I locked my cats in, so they're probably going to become very unhappy soon.
We have until 6 before Kale will be upset.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Mayhem Mythology. This is our very first podcast, so there will be a lot of learning experiences for everyone here. My name is Jasmine, and my co-host for today will be Kayla. We'll be going back and forth.
Hey.
Say hi, Kayla.
Hi.
Did you just forget what we were doing for a second?
No, I was just chilling. Sorry.
All right, so we're kind of trying out this format where we're going to have one host, and then we're going to have a guest, or either myself or Kayla will be the co-host, where we will ask questions and making comments, because there's going to be a lot of information thrown at you really quick.
Yeah.
So just as an introduction, one fun fact about me is, since I get to host, I can say a fun fact. And my current favorite video game is a tie between Overwatch and Animal Crossing. I don't know what came over me. It was probably this quarantine.
I feel like everyone's coping with Animal Crossing. I do not have a Nintendo Switch, so I cannot partake in this, but what is it? Is it just like you guys have a farm and there's an overlord raccoon or something?
There is a capitalistic overlord raccoon. All hail Tom Nook. So you don't really have a farm. You have some orchards, and you have like daily chores of checking your mines and looking for fossils. And I don't know. There's clothing shops. They're selling stuff.
The real world, but as animals, and you're like cute creatures.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe we'll circle back around to this on another podcast. So today's episode is featuring Dionysus / Bacchus.
Wait. I didn't get to tell my fun fact.
Alrighty, what's your fun fact?
Okay, well, I do not have a Nintendo Switch, so I haven't been playing Animal Crossing, but I've been playing a lot of Dragon Ball Z games on my PlayStation 4. I just finished Dragon Ball Z Kakarot and Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, which is like an old game, so I'm sure like tons of people have already beaten that, but I had not had time before everything happened to play video games. And I just want to say I do enjoy fighting games. I do enjoy adventure, but I'm realizing I really like open worlds. And when I'm into a story and then I realize I have to have a boss battle to get to the next part of the story, I'm just like, how can I skip this? I'm like, oh, I guess I have to actually defeat this person. That's what I get for getting wrapped up in the story, I guess. But
you do have to defeat bosses to move on.
And then, playing Kingdom Hearts again, that game is like 90% cutscene, so that's on the whole other direction, I guess. Anyway, that was my fun fact. That was my fun fact. And did we talk about essentially what this podcast is about?
We did not. Care to explain?
I would say a broader sense. We both enjoy myth and lore and the like. And this podcast, I am not a mythology expert. I am not a sociologist or philosopher or whatever. I just am someone who, through talking to other people in media and stories and things like that, I really enjoy myths. I enjoy folklore. I enjoy legends. I enjoy all these things because I feel like it connects us to different cultures and helps us learn about different people. And so this podcast, I feel like we kind of started to, at the very least, give intros to so many, topics that we could talk on, but in a very broader sense, recognizing that, a lot of these figures are still worshipped today or still recognized today. And that what we touch on is just like, I would probably like say skim the surface of what people who are actually like experts at this know more than we do.
Surface skimming.
Yeah. So I would say for anyone who's like, I'm going to listen to this podcast and learn everything I can about this particular person, that is not this podcast.
You will not know.
Yeah.
You will just hear some crazy stories about things that are believed to have happened.
You will do as someone I know who said, we are the Google results for the first 3 pages. So anything after that is pretty. That's
fairly accurate. Oh, you got to page 3 though?
Yeah,
I think you passed page 1.
Yeah, page 1 or page 3. That's as far as we go. But I know there are tons of artists and writers and researchers who that's what they focus on, and maybe one day we can get someone who does that on the show. That would be cool to just like ask them all the questions that we don't know.
That would be great.
But yeah, that's what we are. That's what this is, I guess.
Now, leading up to our very first podcast, we thought it was fitting, to start with the god of theatrics, Dionysus himself, sometimes called Bacchus. I am going to attempt to stay more toward all the Greek counterparts in this story, Dionysus and Zeus, just to make everything a little bit less confusing, because I could go back and forth, and you guys let me know if I accidentally say a name and it's Roman versus weird. Just let me know. I'm going to do my best. I was a theater major and my degree is in theater. So this guy is, very dear to my heart because we had to read probably about 10 books about him. Not my choice. But soft spots still. So, Dionysus is the god of theater arts, wine, and fertility. And he is also the last god with a mortal parent to enter Olympus. While in early Greek art, he is always portrayed as a bearded old man. In later works, he is often seen as a youthful man with often effeminate qualities. Or a little bit androgynous. It wouldn't be theater without that.
I wonder, why that was a change. Were they just like, maybe old people don't. That's not fair. Older people like to turn up too, I guess. But they were trying to recon him, I guess, for the younger generation.
They were rebranding him, yes.
Hey, Jasmine. I see you're getting better at graphic design.
Thanks. Yeah, I've been practicing a bit. Hoping I can do a few freelance jobs, maybe.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but it seems like it would take a lot of time for me to try and figure things out. I definitely don't have time to research starting a freelance business or where I should even start.
Yeah, starting a business can be pretty daunting, especially if you have to do it by yourself. You could probably ask Siren Vinay to help.
Siren Vinay?
Yeah. Siren Vinay is a business development and multimedia consultation and production company. They specialize in helping individuals just like yourself who are trying to figure out how to bring their talents to the market.
Are you doing a promo commercial right now?
Not only that, but Siren Vinay's project management and marketing services will ensure that you can bring your products and services to an audience that is ready to receive them. They also utilize their production service to provide original and authentic content to the masses and can provide these skills to help you develop your business as well.
We're the only ones here. I don't know why you're...
Developing a business can be hard, but it doesn't have to be. Siren Vinay can provide the support you need to take your business from the idea phase to the automated phase.
Meaning...
Okay, look, you just want to focus on designing, right?
Yeah.
Well, Siren Vinay has a team that can help you research and develop your business. Things like trademark research, helping you figure out what business structure works for you, basically anything that has to do with internal processes and procedures that you'll need for developing and maintaining a business and for getting clients.
Okay, so I can just save all that time and focus on my designs.
Yep. And the best part is that Siren Vinay will keep you informed, and they'll also educate you on the entire process. That way, you'll feel more comfortable for how the entire business process and development works, and you can know that they'll have your business interests in mind. You can check them out at www.sirenvinay.com for more information, or you can email them at siren.vinayllc@gmail.com to learn more about what this company has to offer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just make sure to check out Siren Vinay, and the website is www.sirenvinay.com. That is SYRENVANEE.
Alrighty, so Dionysus, the birth of a party god. I mean, this has to be a pretty epic story because, he is the party god. It all begins way back on the day. It was a Thursday, I believe. So, as Zeus normally does, he became smitten with a mortal. Her name was Semele, and she becomes pregnant with a demigod, as they do.
As they done do.
So usually at this point of time in Zeus's endeavors, his wife Hera becomes rightfully pissed off. So she takes her bitterness and takes it with her and appears in front of Semele and tells her if Zeus really loved the mortal, he'd show himself to her in all of his glory. I mean, not naked because, they already did all that.
That is such a petty move, though. Like, it's passive aggressive. It's like, I mean, if he really loved you, you would know what he really looked like, right? I'm not saying he doesn't, but I'm just saying, if he does.
I mean, there are so many stories. Maybe we'll do another podcast on Hera of Hera being petty.
You have to do a whole Hera episode just because, like, there's just so much.
There is so much. Okay, but you know what? She's right to be a little peeved. A lot of peeved. So, Semele taking her,
taking the bait.
hints from taking the bait, demands that Zeus appears in front of her in all of his glory, all his godliness. So what he did, he conceded. He went back to Olympus, stood in front of his wardrobe. He adorned his least magnificent attire and also brought his lamest lightning bolts, just so, they wouldn't scare her. And he stands before her. Well, she was not ready for all this. And then she dies.
Couldn't he have just, like, made himself, like, super handsome and just lied and been like, this is it? How would she know?
I don't know. Maybe it was Hera standing right next to him.
Like, that's not it.
I know you would, Probably.
You're just like Hera on the other side. I'm like, that's not it. That's not the true form.
Probably. So some tellings say that Semele burst into flames, or some stories say that the lame lightning bolts caught her small house on fire. Either way, shit burned down.
That's even more messed up. Did he not aim correctly?
I don't know. Maybe he just like accidentally dropped a firebolt a lightning bolt because he was just distraught that she died upon sight.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, this is already just a hot mess. So
it is. So the stories about exactly how Dionysus was saved are varied, but my favorite telling is that Zeus ripped open an already dead Semele, scooped out the fetus Dionysus from her uterus, and sewed him onto his thigh until he was ready to be born.
That is such a wild sentence.
Yeah, you don't think you're ever going to hear that one again, are you?
I mean, in terms of baby daddies, at least he tries to make sure his kids live, I guess.
He did try. Dionysus the twice born. So Hera was still hella pissed and super jealous of the infant Dionysus, and so she tried to take her revenge on him. And then Zeus, seeing all this, rehomed, the baby with his mortal aunt and uncle, Ino and Athamas, who was the king of Thebes. Yeah,
so conveniently that this family was also royal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, his aunt and uncle were, queen and king of Thebes. So they were instructed to take the child to the Pleiades so that the nymphs there can properly guard him from the wrath of Hera because, she mad and crazy. So, being mad and crazy, she took all that anger out on Ino and Athamas by sending a fury to taunt the king into madness. Well, also the queen too.
What's a fury? Is that the thing where it's like a half-winged, like it's like a half-bird female creature? And
Yeah,
they, like,
I kind of
screech.
Yeah, I kind of think of it as a flying banshee, but
And
all y'all listeners, prove me wrong, or I will Google after this.
And I am sorry, but I'm just seeing the creatures in World of Warcraft who, like,
Those stupid bird bitches.
Yeah, that's who I'm seeing. I don't know.
Those are the worst. So these furies hound the king and queen until they go crazy. The king convinced his wife that their own sons were wild animals, and then he killed one of his kids because he thought it was a wild animal, in the castle just running around. And then Ino, being convinced that the kids are animals and just being crazy and tortured into madness, she walked herself and the remaining son into the ocean. It's kind of the story of baby Dionysus.
Okay.
What?
Nothing. It's just like this kid just can't catch a break.
Oh, he cannot.
Oh my gosh. And it's just the level of, I don't know the timeline of this, but doesn't she have like tons of anyway, it's not all Hera's fault, I guess, but dang.
You're right. Not too much longer. I assume at this point he is an adult. Dionysus was appointed the god of wine and revelry. I don't know by who, probably Zeus. So he had this band of unruly, ultra devout followers who traveled with him from place to place and nonstop party. They partied for years and years and years.
They party how we wish we could party.
That is so true. I wish I could party for years and just, forget all my
not
responsibilities.
Get fatigued or hungover.
Oh yeah, if I didn't get hungover, the world would be set on fire. You wouldn't even know what to do with yourself, world. So these women, while under his inspiration, were believed to possess occult powers such as the ability to charm snakes, suckle animals, and gain the strength to tear living victims limb from limb during ritual feasts. So I just want to back up on this point. They gain the power to suckle animals. I don't know if that means that they were able to feed. I don't know if they were able to like breastfeed a deer or like they've fed off of a mother deer, her teats.
Okay. I
don't know which it is.
I feel like that's just like the response to most. You're just like, okay, all right, okay, so that happened.
That did happen. So just a quick little side story about Dionysus and the company he keeps. So his mentor was a satyr, because how cool is that? His mentor got drunk, surprise, surprise, got lost and ended up in the kingdom that belonged to Midas. That's right, the gold lover himself. Midas recognized somehow the satyr and returned him to the demigod. Dionysus offers Midas one wish, and the rest is history. Luckily, Dionysus graciously reversed this horrible decision when the king realized he couldn't eat or drink.
I feel like this is another example of, how like they're like, oh, be careful what you wish for, but also like be strategic in how you wish, I guess.
Okay, to be fair, in Midas's defense, I can see him wanting to wish for everything he touched turn to gold. I wouldn't be thinking of, water or this lamb of...
And that is why you would fail. That is why you would fail. You have to say...
Well, hopefully I have a super chill god like Dionysus who would be like, yeah, bro, you made a mistake. That was super free to wish that, and I guess you need to eat to live because you're immortal, so I'm going to take it back.
Or he could have just as simply been like, I wish that everything I touch to go except for things that are needed for my survival. That's broad, right?
That is
love
broad.
Because then he was touching people too, right? And they were
touching people. I assume those people are all dead now.
Or gold.
If he touched gold, would it turn to mega gold?
I don't know. Like if he had a stack of gold and just kept repeatedly touching it, would it produce more gold, or would it just
be harder gold?
Compact
gold on gold?
Questions for the scientists.
Questions for the scientists. So the last little bit of Mr. Dionysus's life, I would like to quickly regale is his love. So Dionysus fell in love with this woman named Ariadne. She was stranded on an island and forsaken by her lover. The dude said he'd be back for her and just ghosted.
What?
Never to be seen again.
What?
He pieced out.
He left her on an island?
He left her wandering an island looking for him, and he was gone.
He's like, yeah, I just have to sail back real quick. I left some stuff, but I totes promise I'll be back.
I left the oven on.
Yeah, we don't want to catch our huts on fire. They're so flammable.
No, we don't. They are flammable. I gotta go right now. Douche. But they fell in love, and she forgot all about Mr. Ghost, and a few short weeks later they got married. Can you imagine that party? That wedding party.
I mean, the wedding of a party god?
Oh my god. I would actually RSVP to that wedding. I normally don't, but I would.
You would just have to you would have to see. Even if you didn't partake, you had to witness that.
Right. Even if you didn't like the people, even if they accidentally ran over your dog, you had to go.
I mean, it's the wedding of a party god. It's going to be an open bar.
Oh my god.
The music is just going to be excellent. They probably have god musicians and stuff like that.
And half naked nymphs. Just all these animals doing weird non-animal stuff, like dancing and crap. And
then at a certain point, you might become terrified because your brain is just like, wait, what am I witnessing?
Maybe they'll die like Semmel did. The party was
too intense.
Too intense, and you just die.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Oh my god.
So, interesting little fact. So after they got married, Dionysus gave Ariadne a wedding present, and it was a crown of freaking stars, like a whole crown of stars. Unfortunately, not too long after their wedding, maybe a couple weeks or so, Ariadne got sick and died. And so in grief, Dionysus tossed her crown into the sky, and then it got stuck there and became the constellation Ariadne's crown, or corona. The pain of loss was just killing him. He was just not eating, not partying. His previously absent father, Zeus, felt pity for his son and brought Ariadne back to life and made her immortal. I guess more so, Dionysus would never have to go through that again.
Aww.
Those are my few stories about Dionysus. And next, I would like to get to a section that I am particularly excited for. It's called Divine Elimination. I just want to highlight an epic smiting related to Dionysus, or my story. A lot of people died in this story, I know already, but we're going to kind of circle back around. So the best divine elimination doesn't actually come from the story. Divine elimination. It comes from a different version of the story. So instead of, Zeus taking infant Dionysus away to his aunts and uncles, Hera, still super jealous of Zeus's infidelity, rightly so, and the fact that Dionysus was still alive, she arranged for the Titans to kill him.
So this is after the whole mom was burned to death because dad was so awesome fiasco.
Yes.
Okay.
Because some stories say that Zeus actually kept him on his thigh until he was an adult.
Okay.
Mature.
Sure.
And then some say that until he was an infant. But the Titans found Dionysus and ripped him to pieces. But one of the Titans named Rhea brought him back to life. Rhea was a Titan and was also known as the mother of all gods, Zeus's mother. Can you imagine doing all this work to try to make your life perfect, only to be ruined by your mother-in-law?
But he got saved by his grandmama.
He did. His grandmama. She put him back together and brought him to life.
So is Rhea, is she like Mother Earth, or is that something different? Do you know? Or did you not research that far?
Didn't look at that. This was about Dionysus.
Okay.
That's a great follow-up article, blog post that should probably happen.
Yeah. So, I mean, is it really divine elimination though if he was brought back?
You know what?
I'm just saying.
He was torn asunder by the Titans that are big as, galaxies themselves. Tore apart this itty bitty little, it's like ripping apart an ant leg. Just, he was that small to them.
They were just like, pick.
Yeah, they were. I bet it only took like one person to actually kill him.
But they had to just make sure.
They did. So Grandmama saved partying. And that is my particularly regaling of Dionysus.
I mean, it has all the great elements. It has revenge. It has magic.
Has a lot of revenge. It has drinking, has satyrs.
Suckling. It
has good side stories.
Yeah, it has redemption, I guess. I mean, not really. Who redeemed themselves?
I don't know if he redeemed himself.
But it has a love story. What would you say the stories of Dionysus tell you as a theater person? Go dramatic or go home?
Yeah, go big or go home.
Well, I did not research this, but in my love of comics, I was reading a comic book. It was Thor. It was a Thor story in the Warrior 3. I don't know if you know the Warriors 3.
Nope.
You know the Warriors 3. You've seen the Thor movie at least. You've seen the Thor? It's Fandral, Hogan, and Volstagg.
Oh, that one dude and...
Yeah, that one dude and the other dude and the other dude.
Wait, what about the chick?
That's Lady Sif. She is not a Warrior 3. She is a lady. She's a lady or warrior Sif, we will definitely have a Thor episode. But
we will at least have one Thor episode.
Yes, but to stay on topic of why I brought this up, speaking of, Dionysus appearing in modern stories, in this particular story, Thor was helping out the Warriors 3 who were basically, they were set up on trial for killing a giant, and in order to pacify the giants, like fathers, they had to basically go on a quest. And one of the quests required them to get the skin of a pig that apparently belonged to the god of Dionysus. Apparently this pig, pretty much gave Dionysus his power, I guess. And at the time, Hercules had shown up and was pretty much like he took the pig and was drinking and chilling with all these beautiful women. And Dionysus didn't have his powers because he got sapped of them. So Thor had to engage in fisticuffs with Hercules while they tried to get the pig back for Dionysus. And eventually they did. What was kind of funny about it was in the comic book, the Olympian gods were watching Thor and Hercules go at it. And I guess the Olympian gods were you know what? I'm not going to be too mad if Thor beats his ass because he kind of needs it. Your son's become kind of a dick. And Zeus is I mean, I guess, but we're Olympian gods. Those are the Norse gods. They're yeah, I mean, but go Thor. So that was kind of funny. But that was just a random, I suppose, story that I had witnessed of Dionysus.
Yeah, side characters.
Yeah, in a Thor comic. So, he pops back up around then. I'm sure people have seen them in other places. And if you have a movie or a story or comics or whatever, you can let us know.
Alrighty, so that will conclude our very first episode of our very first podcast. So we would all love your support. Let us know what you think. If you're me, I'm probably just going to delete your comments. So
we don't have time for that right now. But if you have topics that you would like us to briefly chat about, you can message. We'll eventually have an Instagram and a
soon
so that you can message or connect with us on that. And yeah, if you have topics you want us to talk about or some folklore, or if you have stories that you would like us to tell, we could definitely do a reader story section. So if you have a myth or lore in your culture or in your community, that you think would be cool to share, let us know. We would love to.
Definitely let us know.
We would love to retell it for you. And we'll get that email address out for people to send those to.
Yes. Soon. Our contact information will be available soon.
So,
can.
Hopefully by the time we even post this.
Right. We are definitely going to try to be as versatile as we can in these retellings. We don't only want to do like old white Greek people. So we are going to try to do a variation of, myths and legends around the world.
Keeping in mind that, someone who doesn't have, who we may not necessarily know a lot about that culture, they're very, like we said, skimming the top, but to give people kind of their first look at a different story that might make them interested in learning more. I think that's really what we're aiming for. So
definitely.
Yeah. So next episode, we'll be doing Yamaya, which is a ocean goddess from the Yoruba and actually many other religions and practices and cultures around the world. And that'll be a different type of storytelling that we'll be excited to explore. I'll be hosting that, right?
You will be hosting that.
Yes. Okay.
Alrighty, people. Thank you so much for listening. If you listened, thank you for getting this far. If you did.
Yeah.
Because we are not professional actors or actresses. We are not voice people. Someone gave me a microphone. That's my extent. And we are just doing what we can because we think this is fun.
Yeah. So go out there and have your own fun podcast too. And then tell us about it. We would love to help promote other people who are trying to get their content out there.
Good night, everyone.